In at number 10, Amanda Bynes. We should have known back in 2010 when Amanda Bynes said that she was retiring from acting and then unretiring, then deleting her Twitter, that something was seriously wrong. After the Amanda Show ended, she began behaving more and more erratically. She was in multiple car accidents, there was a noticeable altering of her appearance, and she was arrested for reckless endangerment after she threw a bong out of her apartment window in New York City. The real meltdown for all to see though was Bynes ranting on Twitter about how her father was abusive. Then immediately after, she followed that up with this: "My dad never did any of those things. The microchip in my brain made me say those things, but he's the one that ordered them to microchip me." Okay. In at number 9, Tila Tequila. This celebrity quickly went from trying to find love on her reality show A Shot at Love with Tila Tequila to having her Twitter account shut down. For whatever reason, when Trump became president, Tila went full alt-right. Further than that actually, she went alt-Reich. She changed her Twitter cover photo to her standing next to Trump holding a gun with a swastika wrapped around her arm. In a series of anti-Semitic posts, Tila slowly destroyed whatever career in entertainment that she thought she had. From posting a photo giving the Sieg Heil to saying things like, "Actually, I was Hitler in a past life. That is why I still have strong ties with him in this one. Hashtag twin flame." Her Twitter account is back up now, but all of her tweets are protected because much like her career, the public doesn't need to see that. In at number 7, Nicolas Cage. Back in April of 2011, Academy Award winning actor Nick Cage was arrested in New Orleans on 1 count of domestic abuse and 1 count of disturbing the peace. According to the local police, Cage was witnessed arguing with his wife in front of their home around midnight. Police say that Cage grabbed his wife by her upper arm and dragged her towards their property. He then apparently began to strike cars in the immediate vicinity and even attempted to jump into a taxi when the police arrived. At that point, the police immediately observed that Cage was heavily intoxicated, and so they ordered him out of the cab, which prompted Nick to start yelling. Cage allegedly started yelling, "Why don't you just arrest me?" to the police, which is exactly what happened next. However, even though Nick was taken into custody and charged, his wife apparently did not want him charged and said that there was no actual physical contact between them during the fight. Regardless, still a meltdown. In at number 6, Tom Cruise. It was the couch jump that truly rocked Hollywood and a side of the action hero Tom Cruise that we had never witnessed before. In short, it was a meltdown over passion for his newest love interest, Katie Holmes. At the time, Tom Cruise was one of the biggest celebrities in America, and he was already an established leading man with roles such as Top Gun and Jerry Maguire under his belt. He was appearing on the Oprah Winfrey Show though to promote his upcoming movie, which was Steven Spielberg's remake of War of the Worlds. However, instead of staying on script to his promo material, he could not stop gushing over his new girlfriend. Within 15 minutes of the interview, Tom had leapt onto Oprah's couch as Oprah struggled to find the words for his over-the-top infatuation. I think she just kept yelling, "He's gone. You're gone. This guy's crazy." In the moment, it was this very heartwarming thing to see though, but in hindsight, people watching that clip maybe through a GIF or just a series of photos, it looks like Tom is acting at a school for an interview, so by all accounts and without hearing the audience's reaction, this was categorized as one of Tom's biggest TV meltdowns, but he was just really happy. In at number 4, Russell Crowe. Back in 2005, Russell Crowe was in Australia to promote his film that he had coming out. Shortly after 4 o'clock in the morning, Russell was having a difficult time trying to call his wife. So with his room phone not working, he went down to the concierge to use theirs. Crowe then got into an argument with the concierge, which led to him picking up the desk phone and throwing it out of anger and frustration. Unfortunately, in the process of doing this, the phone actually struck the hotel worker in the face. He was then arraigned on charges of 2nd-degree assault and 4th-degree criminal possession of a weapon. By the way, the weapon was the phone that he threw. The Oscar winner then pled guilty, and the judge gave him a conditional discharge, which essentially means that he can't be arrested in Australia ever again. In at number 2, Roseanne Barr. Roseanne is a well-known stand-up comedian and at one time had a hit sitcom named after her. During her Twitter meltdown, Barr tweeted in reply to former Obama aide Valerie Jarrett that she looked like the child of a Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes. She was immediately called out for racism, with the insinuation being that she was equating an African-American woman to that of a monkey, which is incredibly racist. Barr attempted to defend her tweet by saying, "Rod Sterling wrote Planet of the Apes. It was about anti-Semitism. That is why my tweet referred to the anti-Semitism of the Iran deal. Low IQ people can think whatever they want." The meltdown didn't stop there though. After ABC canceled the reboot of Roseanne, she then attributed her behavior to taking Ambien. Funny enough, the company that makes Ambien tweeted out a response as well. They said, "People of all races, religions, and nationalities work at Sanofi every day to improve the lives of people around the world. While all pharmaceutical treatments have side effects, racism is not a known side effect of any Sanofi medication." Imagine getting blasted on Twitter by a drug company. Welcome to the future, my friends. Last but not least, in our number 1 spot, Donald Trump. You know, we couldn't finish this list without talking about the biggest celebrity known for routinely melting down on Twitter. I'm sure he's doing it right now as I speak. Perhaps the most dangerous meltdown that Trump has ever had on Twitter though was his beef with North Korea. After Kim Jong-un started flexing his military strength too much, Trump hopped online and started name calling. At his first address to the United Nations, Trump referred to Kim as Rocket Man. Then on November 11, 2017, North Korea replied saying that his speech was made up of reckless remarks by an old lunatic. Trump, not being able to take any criticism, fired back with, "Why would Kim Jong-un insult me by calling me old when I would never call him short and fat? Oh well, I try so hard to be his friend, and maybe someday that will happen." Or you know, you'll say so much other stuff that the world will completely forget about this whole North Korean debacle. But he still is Little Rocket Man.
In at 10, Bjork. Oh, Bjork, she has had a rough life. Not only did she have to go through the grueling process of working with Lars von Trier, who she openly hated and admitted to spitting in his face every day, she also had a crazed stalker who ended up killing himself on camera, which in turn was uploaded to YouTube. So you can imagine Bjork would be a little high-strung. Well, back in 1996, Bjork arrived at the airport in Thailand, only to be greeted by paparazzi and reporters wanting interviews. The singer was with her children, and by the time one of the reporters stated, "Welcome to Thailand," she had had enough and began to attack her, knocking her to the ground and striking her repeatedly.
Cool. The British-born journalist was more stunned than injured.
It was not a good look for the singer. Violence is never the answer, but you can also understand a mother wanting to protect her children. Coming in at 9, Vanilla Ice. Remember Vanilla Ice, the one-hit wonder who blessed us with Ice Ice Baby? Ice Ice Baby. Well, he must have known his 15 minutes of fame were coming to an end back in 1999, because he accelerated his demise when he appeared on the MTV Lame 25. Prior to The Daily Show, Jon Stewart used to host a show along with Dennis Leary, Chris Kattan, and Janine Garofalo called MTV's Lame 25, where the host would make fun of music videos that aired on MTV's network and then would proceed to destroy the tape. However, on this particular occasion, the Vanilla Ice guilty pleasure found itself at number 9 on the list, so what went down? Well, the rapper proceeded to show up at the studio, as planned, and took a baseball bat to his tape for this song. However, it didn't stop there. He ended up taking the bat to the entire set, absolutely terrifying everyone in the process, something that definitely wasn't planned.
Popcorn for everybody. Sorry about the set there, guys. Well, the tape's fine. What? Everything else is no.
Coming in at 8, David Hasselhoff. It is common knowledge that former actor David Hasselhoff used to battle with alcohol and drug addiction. But things hit rock bottom for the actor back in 2007 when his daughter filmed him in his Las Vegas home on a bender and eating a burger. The Baywatch legend was seemingly as drunk as could be, so he ordered burgers and sloppily ate them on the floor of his bathroom, wearing nothing but a pair of blue jeans. This video is heartbreaking to watch and listen to because in the background you can hear a 16-year-old daughter begging for him to grow up. However, what makes this video interesting is that his daughter was filming him because David had reportedly asked her to if he were to ever fall off the wagon, and that he did. Thankfully, Hasselhoff got sober and is still a pop culture icon to this day, milking appearances and making the odd cameo in bad movies, even the Baywatch remake.
Because if you get alcohol tonight, you're fired from your show tomorrow. And the doctor is coming over here in the morning to check your alcohol level. And if you have any alcohol in your system, you're going to be fired from the show.
In at number 6, Azelia Banks. This celebrity Twitter meltdown didn't only get her account suspended, but is probably the main reason why her career is kinda over. First, Banks noticed that One Direction member Zayn Malik's new music video was eerily similar to her Young Rapunzel song. So she put up an Instagram post with these side-by-side images and called him out for this. Zayn, I guess, didn't appreciate her not directing the message to his account and in turn started subtweeting about Azelia. This just twisted Banks into a downward spiral that she could not bounce back from whatsoever. And for whatever reason, her reply was filled with a rant containing a ton of racist and homophobic undertones, saying things like she was going to start calling him Punjab, which I didn't even think was an insult, but okay. And it didn't stop there either. She hit him with more tweets all attacking his culture and race that the internet absolutely lit her up for. The best was a reply from Jasmeet Singh, better known as Just Rain, who said, "Damn, the word Punjab is an insult now. Has anyone notified Urban Dictionary yet?" Just Rain coming in hot. In at number 4, Elon Musk. Elon Musk does a lot of things simultaneously. He runs Tesla, SpaceX, and has been working with a number of other countries to help them switch to more renewable energy. The one place where he should not be though is Twitter. Elon's tweets have gotten him into more trouble than anything else that he's done in his illustrious career. Before he ever sparked up that joint on the Joe Rogan Experience, Musk tweeted out this joke: "Am considering taking Tesla private at $420, funding secured." This joke sent his investors into a meltdown of their own. Not only that, but Musk has gone on full-blown anti-media Twitter rants after a few newspapers criticize his business decisions. I guess that means that he's ready to be the president of the United States now. I mean, what else do you need?
Coming in at 3, Shia LaBeouf. Everyone loves Jerry's Deli, is one of the greatest places to grab a sandwich in downtown LA. However, back in 2017, it seems Shia LaBeouf went there for an entirely different reason. He was having a few drinks, until those drinks became a few too many, and when Shia asked the bartender for some french fries, he refused. The actor proceeded to call the server the N-word, but it didn't end there. These racist tirades happened once again, but this time when he was pulled over in Georgia, with Shia proceeding to tell the officer, "You're going to hell. Straight to hell, bro." Both incidents negatively impacted Shia's career, with it becoming public knowledge that some casting directors are too scared to hire him because they don't know what they're going to get. Coming in at 2, Christian Bale. Remember the film Terminator Salvation? Yeah, me either. But apparently it was a thing that happened and we all seemingly missed it. For the best, probably. Well, anyway, back in February 2009, while on the set of this god-awful movie, Christian Bale had a little hissy fit. During one particular scene, a director of photography entered Bale's field of view while he was filming. So what did he do? He shut it down, stating, "What the F are you walking right through? What the F is it with you? What don't you effing understand? You got any effing idea about, hey, it's effing distracting having somebody walking up behind Bryce in the middle of the effing scene? Give me an effing answer. Why don't you get it?" Yeah, that happened.
What don't you get about it?
I was looking at the light.
Oh, good for you!
Lesson number 1, if you ever find yourself working alongside Christian Bale, don't walk into a shop. Don't even look his way, better yet just leave the building and don't return. Although I will give it to Bale, he had his entire meltdown while doing an American accent. I applaud that.
In at number 10, Robert Downey Jr. At this point, it's pretty common knowledge that RDJ had a history of drug addiction, but what most people don't realize is that his issues all began at 6 years old. His father was a filmmaker and drug addict who gave his young son a joint to smoke at the age of 6. Downey claims that he was surrounded by drugs as a young child and often used drugs as a way to bond with his troubled father. He believed that when they did drugs together was his father's way of expressing love for him in the only way that he knew how. He nearly ended his acting career though after being arrested several times for possession of cocaine, heroin, and marijuana use before spending a year in prison in 1999, which meant the cancellation of several acting jobs. Director Jodie Foster even caught him doing coke on the set of her movie called Home for the Holidays. She begged for him to get help, but Downey would continue to spiral out of control. After struggling even more with drug abuse between 2001 and 2003, Downey finally was able to kick the habit through a combination of the 12-step recovery program, meditation, yoga, and martial arts training. In at number 8, Alec Baldwin. It is a well-known fact that actor Alec Baldwin has gotten into trouble several times after his interactions with the paparazzi. There's no doubt that these creepy photographers do invade the personal space of celebrities, but that being said, violence has never made them leave you alone either. Baldwin has been at the center of several cases where he was accused and literally photographed physically attacking photographers. The first accusation was in 1995 when he reportedly punched a paparazzi so hard that he broke the man's nose. However, in all of these incidents, Baldwin was never charged. Baldwin had another crazy meltdown on an airplane after a flight attendant asked him to turn off his phone so that they could take off. The actor made a big stink and even tweeted more about his meltdown, saying, "Flight attendant on American reamed me out for playing Words with Friends while we sat at the gate not moving." That is a meltdown indeed when it ends up on Twitter.
Coming in at 7, Michael Jackson. Back in 2002, Michael Jackson was still considered to be one of the greatest pop stars in the world, which is bizarre to me because at that point we all knew what went down at Neverland. But anyway, I digress. In 2002, Jackson was in his hotel room in Berlin, Germany, where there were a ton of paparazzi present outside of his suite. So what did the king of pop decide to do? Well, he opened up his window and dangled his baby son Prince Michael II over the balcony. The crowd gasped in horror before the singer pulled the baby back and into his arms and went inside. This cemented everyone's belief that Michael Jackson was losing it, both professionally and personally, with the singer spending years following defending his bizarre actions. Coming in at 5, Charlie Sheen. Back in 2011, Charlie Sheen gave a somewhat questionable interview on The Today Show about his firing from the CBS sitcom 2.5 Men. He discussed his recovery from addiction, but appeared completely erratic and unhinged while doing so.
Abusing alcohol. It's their show.
Epic behavior. After reading about that, then they observed a guy hitting every mark, nailing every line, every joke.
Not only did he make the word winning iconic and somewhat of a meme, but he also coined the phrase tiger blood, which is apparently what's running through his veins. Of course, as we know, Sheen was fired from the show for bad-mouthing the creator Chuck Lorre, which he discussed in this very strange interview, making the bold claim that his passion is often perceived as anger. Dude, there was nothing passionate about your remarks. Get a grip.
In at number 2, Britney Spears. The mid-2000s were certainly not kind to pop sensation Britney Spears. From a bitter divorce to having a very public meltdown, it was only a matter of time before she had her run-in with the law. In 2006, she was driving with her 4-month-old son on her lap when the police pulled her over, which is very illegal, by the way, yet because she's Britney Spears, there wasn't even a fine. Then just a year later, she was charged with a hit and run while also driving without a license. Initially, she was looking at a year in prison for this, but again, she ended up not even spending a minute behind bars. It really is a mystery how she was able to pull herself out of this downward spiral, but what's really concerning is how she managed to escape the law. Fame should definitely not exclude you from the repercussions of doing something illegal. Last but certainly not least, our number 1 spot, Michael Richards. Michael Richards is known for his role as Kramer on Seinfeld. He's funny on that show because he literally had Jerry Seinfeld and Larry David writing for him, the two funniest people in the world. Although, when the show ended, Kramer thought that he could just transition into stand-up comedy and be just as funny. Unfortunately, when his set was not going well at the Laugh Factory in Hollywood, he completely lost his mind and just buried his career. Someone heckled him, I guess, and then he went on to a tirade by screaming racial slurs and attacking the audience. It was so bad that a large majority of the crowd just up and left the club in the middle of his act. He was never able to redeem himself after this racist rant, and it will serve as a stark reminder that Kramer was never cool.
Every time I see this backdrop, I think about Kramer f***ing up.